This is going to be a short little video on how to take a two-dimensional image through the 3D effects in Illustrator to create a three-dimensional kind of illustration for that. So this is actually what it'll look like when you're finished with that. So let's actually go to File up here and go to New. And we're actually going to use the web preset up here. So the top bar here's the presets, and we're just going to use the web large, okay? And it's got the right settings in there, but you make sure that the raster effects are set to 72. It should be default, but make sure they're set to 72. And you can call this like I'm calling this 3D and then rainbow. Yeah. And it'll click create there. So basically it'll be the same size document that we had here, kind of thing. So basically all we're going to do here is we're using certain colors there. So again, make sure that it's set to workspace, set to Essential Classic here. And then you should have this swatches panel. So we're going to actually drag this down here, and it's got some different swatches. We're going to create a new group. And we're going to call this, rainbow. It's fine. Click OK. And it's going to actually create just a straight rainbow group. I'm going to click on the white, like we don't need that, so we can delete it here. So we're going to create some different swatches here. So we click on the plus sign, and we're going to actually, this hex code right here is the code I'm going to put in. And so I don't need to mess with any of the RGB or anything like that. So we're just going to use hex code to actually enter these exact swatches here. So for this is going to be the red color. And so we're going to type in ED6, 5, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, ED6F 5 and 6, and then we're going to choose OK. That should be a red color. So we're going to make sure it's down here in that group here, and then click on the plus sign again. So highlight this hex code again. So this is going to be F988D5D, and then click OK, and that's going to be an orange color there. Then we'll create another swatch and highlight the hex code here. And this is going to be 51AF51, and then click OK. And that's another swatch that's going to be green. This one actually highlight the hex code again. So 7CC5D1, enter, and that should be like a blue color there. So yeah, now this. Oh, I'm sorry. I put in the same one. So now we're going to actually create the last color here, and this is going to be a gray color. So we're going to highlight the hex code here, and this is going to be F2 E9 E2. And this is going to be your gray color. So make sure it's in the gray color. So this is actually your rainbow group. So you have this red, orange, green, blue, and gray. Okay. So we're going to do now is we're going to create just a swatch here. So we're going to create a little, we make sure this is 100 pixels. And so this, if you want to, I think default, it's not linked. So this can be different here. So like this one can be different here, but you want to link them together. So if you just link them together, so they're always going to be the same, because if you have a perfect scroll, it's going to be, you're going to want them to have the width and height the same. So you might as well link them together. And click OK, and it's going to give you a color here. I'm just going to zoom out for a little bit and make sure that these are different colors we have. So, and I'll just have to hold, I have the direct selection, a selection tool, and I'm going to hold down my Alt key, and I'm going to create some different circles here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 here. So 5 little swatches there. So what we're going to do now is click on this first one, and this is going to be the red. This one, it's going to be the orange. This one, it's going to be the green. This one, it's going to be the blue. And this one is going to be the gray. As well, I can highlight all those there, and they all need to have a no stroke. So I'm going to click on the strike, the none stroke. Okay. So this is the colors I'm going to use on my rainbow. Okay. Now I'm going to click in the ellipse tool again. Click once on screen. They should be linked. So we can type in 1000. So, and that's going to be the big right circle there. I'm just going to move it to the center here. Maybe the top. That circle, I'm going to actually make sure it has a black stroke in it. So this, you should see the black stroke on this one. Okay. So select it again, object, and then path, and then offset path. And this should actually be negative 100 pixels. Okay. So if it's not, you can actually make sure it's negative 100 pixels. Okay. And then you click OK. The preview shows you it's going to offset it about this dimension here. Click OK. And then we're going to do that again. So click object, path, and then offset path again. Negative 100. Click OK. I'm going to do it, I think, 2 more times. So click object, path, and then offset path. And do it one more time. Object, and then path here, and then offset path. So one time. So you should finish up with this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little circles there. Okay. So now we actually created those. What I need to do is delete the bottom of the circle here. So I'm going to click on the direct selection tool, and what we're going to do is actually just highlight just the bottom here. So now they're all selected, and it just has just the bottom. I've just drawn the bottom over the box so you can see the handlebars of the bottom of the circles. And I click the backspace key once, and it's going to delete half of my circle because that's the part I had selected. Okay. Now I'm going to actually select all those again. Okay. And I'm going to use a shape builder tool because I want them to all be separate kind of like shapes. So not be, right now, actually you can see here, they're all separate. So there's actually big shapes here. So I want them to be separate shapes. So I'm going to move it. So I'm going to have all selected here, shape builder tool, and click once on each of these. Once, 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 and then this one here. Okay. So now you can see like they're all separate kind of things there. I'll do that. Okay. Now what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to give them a certain color. Okay. So this first color, eyedropper tool, and it's going to be the red. This next one, eyedropper tool, and it's going to be the orange. Next one, eyedropper, and it's going to be green. Selection, next one, eyedropper tool, and it's going to be blue. This one is actually this gray color. Okay, and that should actually get it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create this ellipse tool, and I'm going to go from the center here, center that green, and then I'm going to hold the Alt key and then my Shift key together, and it's going to draw a circle here from my center. So that should become kind of about the width of the green and the orange together. So, and I'm going to hold my Alt key down while I still have my selection tool, about black hour, and then hold the Alt key down, and I can bring it over here. I want to create a cloud basically. So I'm going to create 4 of those circles here, and this little guideline here will kind of show me. It's going to actually, these are symmetrical here. So you can see it's all going to symmetrical, and I'm going to select on all those 4 here, and I'm just going to unite them together. That's the click to unite. So I'm going to hit them together, hold the Alt key, and then drag them over here, and these are actually the cloud here. Oh, and I'm sorry, this one here, I need just backspace. I don't need the partition. Okay, so the gray color is actually the clouds. Okay. The last thing I'm going to do is just window over everything, and now I need to group it all together. Next thing I need to do, the last little step, is actually just create a 3D effect. So I'm going to go to Effect, and then click on my 3D materials, and I'm going to go to Inflate. Okay, that's going to bring up this dialog box. I need to make sure it has the Inflate selected. So I should have already had that selected, could have, but make sure it has selected. Inflate is already selected. So these under the Object tab here, or I guess the Object heading here, these I'll just leave as default here. But one thing, make sure the preset here that says front. It should say front. Okay. If it is not, change it to where it says front. So it might say back or something like that. Change it to where it says front. But then the materials, you leave it with the default material. Okay. All we're going to do is change the roughness down here. It's going to be 0.63, and the metallic setting is going to be 0.2. Okay, so those two settings there. Okay, now I'm going to go to the lighting, I guess, menu tab, and I'm going to change these different settings there. Okay, and so I know you can actually mess around with these settings and kind of play around these a little bit, kind of thing. But these are the settings that I found would work the best here. It's a great 3D little shape here. So for intensity, I'm going to put 97. For the rotation, I'm going to put 90. For the height, I'm going to put 48. And then for the softness, I'm going to put 90 again. Okay. And then the intensity, I'll leave it at 50% here. I want to make sure that this the shadows actually is turned on. So right now their options are grayed out, but I need to turn the shadows on. So now the options are actually, I can change them. Okay. Make sure the position is set to behind the object. Then the distance from the object, it can still be 0. But then the shadow bounds here, make sure the shadow bounds is set to 260. Okay, and I choose enter. Okay, that should be the correct settings. And make sure the color is, I'm going to actually not use white. I'm going to use a little bit off white. See, it's kind of like a grayish almost. So it's a little bit, it's almost white, but it's like a little bit off white. So click OK. I like that for a bit settings a little better because it has a little better results than actually just bright white. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is actually the last step, and you click on this render. Click on that once, and it's going to take a little time to render your three-dimensional kind of thing there. And this is why it creates a three-dimensional shape there. Okay. And that should finish it. Now you can click on the file here and save as. Save to your computer, and this is 3D rainbow here. 3D rainbow. Click save, and OK. Now I can go back to Canvas. Click Start Assignment. Click Choose File, and I can go to my downloads here. Click on my 3D rainbow. Click Open and Submit, and that should finish it. Thanks for watching.